The Galactic Council had made their biggest mistake 3 cycles ago, when they authorized the Zitharon Collective to establish a research outpost in human territory. The massacre at Colony 12 was supposed to be a warning, a demonstration of superiority to the upstart species that had dared to expand beyond their tiny blue world. 12 humans, 12 civilian scientists studying exoplanets in the frontier systems. The Zitharons had broadcast their executions across every human frequency, their crystalline bodies refracting the cold light of distant stars as they methodically eliminated each researcher. They had expected fear. They had expected submission. They got neither. Lila Chen stood on the bridge of the UES Retribution, her reflection ghosting across the viewport as 1,000 warships materialized from FTL around her flagship. Her dark eyes were fixed on the holographic display showing the Zitharon homeworld, a planet of purple oceans and silver spires that had never known war on its surface. "Admiral," her tactical officer called out, "the Zitharon defense fleet is moving to intercept. 300 vessels." 300, Lila repeated, her voice carrying across the bridge with deadly calm. They killed 12 of ours with 300 ships at their backs, thinking numbers would protect them. She turned to face her crew. "Show them what humanity does with numbers." Ellis Morrison watched from the John Jew Center 3 decks below, his fingers dancing across holographic controls as he coordinated the human fleet. As the fleet's master, strategist, he had spent 72 sleepless hours planning this operation. Every simulation had ended the same way, with Zitharon extinction or human victory. There was no middle ground, not after what they'd done. "All ships reporting ready, Admiral," Ellis transmitted to the bridge. His voice was hoarse from exhaustion, but his hands remained steady. "The Zitharons are hailing us." "Put them through," Lila ordered. The face that materialized was barely humanoid, all angles and refracted light, a being of living crystal that pulsed with bioluminescent arrogance. "Human Commander," the Zitharon Overlord began, "your species has violated—" "Silence." Lila cut through the transmission like a plasma blade through flesh. "You violated the oldest law in this galaxy when you murdered civilians under a banner of peace. You broadcast their deaths. You wanted us to see them beg for mercy. They were inferior." "We're done talking," Lila said. The viewport darkened as her ship's main cannon began charging. "Ellis, execute Protocol Reckoning." In the tactical center, Ellis felt his chest tighten as he entered the final command sequence. Protocol Reckoning wasn't just a battle plan, it was total war. Every human ship carried weapons the Galactic Council had banned centuries ago. Weapons humanity had discovered, perfected, and kept hidden for precisely this moment. "All ships," Ellis broadcast across the fleet channel. "Weapons free. Show no mercy." The Zitharon defense fleet moved to engage, their crystalline ships gleaming as they charged their energy weapons. They were beautiful vessels, elegant and efficient, designed by a species that had dominated the galactic arm for millennia. Then the human fleet opened fire. Lila watched as relativistic kinetic impactors, simple tungsten rods accelerated to 90% light speed, tore through the Zitharon formation. There was no dodging, no shielding against weapons that barely registered as technological. The rods simply appeared and erased entire sections of the enemy fleet from existence. Crystal ships exploded into clouds of glittering fragments, beautiful and terrible in equal measure. "First wave eliminated," Ellis reported. "Zitharon planetary defenses activating." The planet's surface lit up with thousands of defensive batteries, ancient weapons that had guarded the homeworld since before humans had learned to walk upright. Beams of concentrated energy lanced toward the human fleet and met the gravity wells. Human ships didn't dodge. They folded space around themselves, bending the Zitharon attacks into nothing, while their own weapons continued their relentless assault. Ellis had studied every species in the galaxy, learned their strengths and weaknesses. The Zitharons relied on energy weapons and shields, both useless against kinetic force delivered at relativistic speeds. "Second wave," Lila commanded. "Target their cities." "Admiral." Her communications officer hesitated. "There are billions of civilians." Lila's expression didn't change. "They killed 12 civilians and called it research. They wanted to teach us fear. She leaned forward. Fire. Ellis closed his eyes as he relayed the order. Somewhere in his mind, he knew this made them monsters. But 12 faces haunted him. Researchers he'd known. Brilliant minds snuffed out to satisfy alien arrogance. His finger pressed the confirmation key. The bombardment lasted 17 minutes. When it ended, the Zithron homeworld was a smoking ruin. Cities that had stood for 10,000 years were craters. The purple oceans had turned black with ash, and still the human fleet's guns remained hot, ready for more. Survivors? Lila asked quietly. Underground shelters report approximately 8 million Zitherons remain alive. Ellis reported from Tactical. Out of 4 billion. The bridge fell silent. 12 humans dead. Millions of Zitherons eliminated in response. The mathematics of vengeance played out in cold numbers on holographic displays. Broadcast this across all Galactic Council frequencies, Lila ordered. She stepped toward the viewport, her silhouette framed by the dying world below. To every species watching. Humanity came to the stars seeking friends, seeking knowledge, seeking peace. We offered cooperation and received massacre in return. She paused, letting her words echo through the vast network of alien civilizations listening in horror. 12 humans died at Zithron hands. Millions of Zitherons died at ours. Let this ratio teach you what we learned long ago on our own world, that some species, when pushed, will push back with overwhelming force. We are not warriors by choice. We are warriors by necessity. Her voice hardened. And we will not be victims again. Ellis watched the tactical displays as Galactic Council ships began withdrawing from all human borders. Across known space, species that had viewed humanity as prey suddenly recalculated their assessments. The mathematics had changed. 12 deaths had proven that humanity valued its people beyond reason, beyond proportion, beyond mercy. Admiral, Ellis transmitted to the bridge, standing down weapon systems. The message has been received. Lila nodded slowly, her reflection in the viewport showing a woman aged by impossible choices. Take us home, Ellis. We've done what we came to do. As the human fleet turned away from the devastated world, not a single alien vessel moved to stop them. The galaxy had learned its lesson written in Zithron blood. Humanity would rather be feared than pitied, would rather be monsters than victims. 12 deaths had demanded millions in return, and the stars themselves had trembled at humanity's answer.